Mkulima, unapataje hasara ya mazao wakati kuna bima ya kilimo kutoka NIC Insurance? Pakua app ya NIC kiganjani kutoka Play Store ama App Store au tembelea tovuti ya www.nicinsurance.co.tz. NIC Insurance. Sisi ndio bima.
Mr. President of the Senate of the Republic of Rwanda, who is our chief guest tonight, but also I would like to recognize the presence of the Speaker of the Chamber of Deputies, my sister Donatilla Mkabalisa, and all the leaders who are here. I'll try to serve time. Now, I would like to first commend the speakers who have spoken before me, and I agree to everything that they said. So I'll try not to repeat what they said. I will also try to make my own speech short. Let me take this opportunity to thank the Republic of Rwanda, led by His Excellency Paul Kagame, for receiving all of us here. We are very grateful, Mr. President, for the Senate, but also the Speaker for the Chamber of Deputies. All of us here as delegates, we have been well received. So we are very grateful for every other detail that you have put into our being here and being safe, feeling secure, feeling home. Thank you so much. Now, as chair of the East African Bureau of Speakers, much as the other speakers have spoken and others are going to speak later, but on behalf of the Bureau of Speakers, I would like to thank the committee that has taken us through this. I know it's not a very easy job, but you have done the best. Thank you so much for all the preparations, and that also goes to the East African Secretariat. You have worked so hard to make sure these games are a success. So we thank you so much. But also the members of Parliament from our East Africa Legislative Assembly, together with your Speaker, you have worked so hard for this. We are grateful for that as well. Now, on behalf of all the speakers of East Africa, we are very happy that all our members of Parliament, you were able to compete. So we are happy that you have availed yourselves to be able to compete. It means you prepared yourselves. So we believe that you have worked so hard towards these games, and all of us as speakers, we are very proud of you. Thank you so much for making all of us proud. Now, that said, I understand some teams have won. Some didn't do so well. But now let me tell you, all of us as participants, we have won. I'm saying that it's because if we didn't come because we were afraid of losing, nobody would have been here. So each one of us, just by participating, you are a winner. Now let me take that even further. We say we are all winners because we expect as speakers that you have made contacts, that you have established bonds, that you have established friendships. And there is no winning more than that. So I would be surprised if you go back home without having made contacts from all the 7 East African countries. I believe when you visit those countries, you will be able to buzz your colleagues and say, we met in Rwanda, I'm coming to your country, please receive me. And I'm sure they will do the same. So good luck to all of you, and I believe those bonds will stay there to make sure our East African integration is widened, deepened, and tightened. Dear colleagues, just like I was introduced here, much as I had to speak on behalf of the East Africa Bureau of Speakers, but I'm also a speaker for Tanzania, and the Tanzanian teams may not have a representative here. So on behalf of the Tanzanian delegation, I would like to also echo what I've already said. Thank you so much, Rwanda. You have really made all of us happy and all of us welcome. So I'll keep it short at that. Now, you also mentioned that I am the president for the Interparliamentary Union. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank all my colleagues speakers. You worked so hard for this. Thank you so much. And you instructed your members of parliaments who are members of the IPU to work so hard for this. And I can report tonight that each one of them worked tirelessly to make sure the presidency comes to East Africa. So thank you so much, dear colleagues, for all the hard work that you put into this. It is now ours, and so we have a task ahead of us. As East Africans, since the presidency is with us, we have to deliver to the mandate that we have been given. I am sure each one of us would want to associate themselves with this presidency because it is ours. So please, let's help each other, let's help Tanzania to deliver in this mandate. And that said, as parliamentarians, I believe we'll be able to deliver to this mandate if we all take care of our motto for this year. We have talked about progressive East Africa. We are talking about peaceful East Africa. And we are talking about an all-inclusive East Africa. In the interest of time, I may not be able to talk about everything, but let me tell you, in terms of progress, I'll talk about the games that we have already, we are concluding today. We have made progress. By the time we only had 3 cases, we have made a lot of progress, so applaud yourselves for that. But when we talk about a peaceful East Africa, I think what my colleague from Uganda, Tom Tayebwa, Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, he spoke about what Rwanda has gone through and where they have reached now. We are all proud East Africans, and we are proud of our colleagues in Rwanda, how they have worked so hard to make sure peace reigns here in Rwanda. And I believe other countries in East Africa who are going through difficulties in peace, we are all going to work together as parliamentarians. It is our job to advise our governments. It's our job to also make sure that we oversee what our governments do. It is our job to make sure peace reigns in East Africa. And now, I believe the games next year, we will be having our new colleagues from Somalia, because our heads of states have just endorsed them to be members of the East African community. Now, as we welcome them, we have to be ready to participate in the peace process in their country as well. And as members of parliament, let's all work together, let's help each other. That's the whole meaning of ensuring we all foster the integration of the East African community, and it is our job to make sure integration goes down to our people. That said, I'll finish with our motto here. We have talked about an all-inclusive East Africa. Now, when we talk about integration in East Africa, it is our primary responsibility as members of parliament to make sure our governments deliver towards the full integration of our East African community. We can't do that if some of the communities in our respective countries are not well represented on the decision-making table. That said, we have to all learn. Now we are in Rwanda, and I am a woman. I don't usually identify myself as a woman all the time, because I believe I have the ability, so I don't have to really stress that I'm a woman. So I just deliver my mandate, and it has nothing to do with me being a woman. But I understand some of the East African countries, women have not been given prominence in decision making. And as members of parliament, it is our responsibility to make sure all the groups in our communities are represented on the decision making table, beginning with our own parliaments. Now, that said, you have youth in your countries. Please make sure they are part of the decision-making tables, especially being representatives in the parliament. You have got other marginalized groups. You have people with disabilities. And today, I believe there are people who have won in darts that is reserved for people with disabilities. We would like, as speakers and as members of parliament, let's all work together to make sure we have people with disabilities in our parliaments. How are we going to do that? Let's learn from each other, and let's learn to give knowledge to other countries. That said, my dear colleagues, I would say I have spoken so much, but let me end my note by saying it is also our responsibility, because now I'm president for the IPU, so I have also to talk about international politics. It is our responsibility to make sure the sustainable development goals are implemented in our respective countries. And as parliamentarians, we are the ones who make our governments responsible to the commitments that they make. By 2030, our countries are still, our population is still languishing in poverty. Not all of them, but we haven't made a lot of progress. We have to make sure we do that. And I have just mentioned poverty as one of the aspects, but you have got also climate change and environmental degradation. Let's try, as members of parliament, to also advise our governments on all the areas that they have to deliver in the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. I would like to give something to my colleague, the Speaker of the Chamber of Deputies, and I would like to make it public, just so that you know I appreciate my sister so much. Not like I don't appreciate the rest of the speakers, I do, but she's our host, so she gets the priority. And so I'll give her something to remind her that Tanzania ever visited Kigali, and this time. And this other one I think we'll be sharing probably with Kenya, because we both have Maasai. So Kenya, I'm representing you as well. So you have, you have ever visited to Tanzania, so we are very grateful. But this is the building of Tanzania, and asante sana kwa ukarimu. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. And this is, when you feel a little cold, this is a Maasai blanket. You can cover yourself so that you feel warmer. And since you have shown all of us the warmth, please receive that as a gift from all of us, because I'm representing all of you, ladies and gentlemen. That said, thank you so much, and hope to see you soon somewhere, maybe in your respective countries, maybe elsewhere. Thank you for listening to me.
Mkulima, unapataje hasara ya mazao wakati kuna bima ya kilimo kutoka NIC Insurance? Pakua app ya NIC kiganjani kutoka Play Store ama App Store, au tembelea tovuti ya www.nicinsurance.co.tz. NIC Insurance, sisi ndio bima.